out the names and I didn't really care to. I just want the money, so the mission I adhere to is simple. I join some resistance clique, blow up the reactor, then we split, that's it. And they go on about saving the planet, all the precious resources.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of GAMERZ411. We got a fairly light show today. Joining me is Travis Hillier, aka T Hill, and Kristen Perez, aka Game Meets Girl, and of course myself, the invincible Payback Iron Man. We got a few topics to talk about this week. It's been a pretty interesting week of news. Some really big releases, but and one of them is probably the Mass Effect 3 demo. I mean, this is the third game of the very popular trilogy, and well, we're just gonna give our impressions, and let's just say some of our impressions might shock some people. Travis, you want to go ahead with this one?
Yeah, I just got through playing it because I'm gonna put up a Let's Play video tonight. But I started playing the single player portion of the demo, and right now I am crossing my fingers and praying that the cinematics are from like an archaic build of the game, because if they are even remotely close to what the final build is gonna be, they're in some deep shit. And I do remember part 1 and part 2 had the cinematics weren't seamless. They were still a little choppy. But the level of choppiness in the cinematics was, I've never seen anything like that in a game before. I've never seen it that choppy. I mean, it's so recognizable. It's almost hurting your eyes.
Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, BioWare, if it is that close to final build, they're in trouble. They're in some major trouble. I mean, the textures were muddy as shit. The character models looked, with the exception of Shepard, looked horrific. Except for and that was just for the opening cinematics. As you get farther into the single player demo, it gets better. What is it, Rex? The Krogan looks really good. He looks better.
Yeah, he does look really good.
Yeah, some of his textures are sharper, but a lot of like their body, all the textures really seem to focus just on their face. Everything else seems to be really washed and like pretty gnarly. I mean, especially when people think of Mass Effect, they think of top franchise in the graphical department, and right now it's not even, from what I'm seeing, is not even should ever be considered a top graphical powerhouse by any means. Gameplay wise, it played just like a regular Mass Effect game, but I did like the interface, the HUD. I like the user interface when you're upgrading your characters. Just is more aesthetically pleasing. I did like the set piece when the Reapers are coming down and you can like span your gun up and just watch them shooting the big red laser beam out and just like tearing shit up out the sky. That it all looked really cool. It made it feel bigger, but it's the environment where you were navigating, and I'm hoping again that it's kind of reminds me of what happened in part 1 and part 2. More so in part 2, where even though all this cool shit was going on in the background, you were still relegated to these small, kind of narrow, like corridor experiences or enclosed areas where they're still so small in scope. And I kind of got that feel again. I mean, graphically it was nice, but it still felt really, really, really controlled. And I was hoping that they would take a page from some of the bigger games like Uncharted, even Gears, and really open up the environment pieces to show off how beautiful your game and your art is. And the paths that they showed, at least for the demo, of course, you know, that could be so not reflective of the final game, but that's how I felt. I got to play with a multiplayer a little bit, and that right there, I mean, it was already a day one, but if I didn't know anything about the Mass Effect franchise, didn't know what the hell it was, I hopped in there, popped in as a Vanguard, boom, day one, right there. I fucking loved it. It was awesome. I think it seems like more development attention went into the multiplayer than the fucking single player campaign. It played smoother. It looked sharper. You
You can't judge it off a demo.
Oh, of course, but I mean, if you from from what I've seen, we don't know what build of which version, from the single player or the multiplayer, what build we got of it. But I think you would have to agree that there's a stark difference in the graphical fidelity between the
I mean,
multiplayer.
I think this was a really old build because I remember like reading on some other sites like who got a hands-on of this like months ago. This pretty much, and how they detailed it, because obviously you couldn't take direct feed footage.
Yeah,
How they detailed it seemed like it was pretty much the same demo what they played months ago. But
I'm
so
hoping.
it's really old. I don't think it can be that bad because it was really fucking bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrific in spots. But
But
again, you guys know I am a Mass Effect fan. I'm a fan of the franchise. So, and BioWare does good games, so I have high hopes, and I know that they're going to deliver.
yeah, and I just I was more happy to see that Rex was back.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really know he was actually going to be in your squad because I don't really like to read up too much on these big games, but I don't I don't know why they have to bring Liara back. I really do not like that character whatsoever.
You wanted
But
the Judicator back?
I would rather have the Judicator. Yeah,
she was pretty badass.
she like I like the new guy, that really muscly guy. He seems pretty interesting. I wouldn't mind having him. I think he's like the replacement for Jacob.
Well, I didn't really like Jacob.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy I like his look. He's more like
Yoked.
intimidating.
he makes Chris from Resident Evil 5 look like a pussy.
He's toned down, Chris Redfield now.
Yeah, but I mean, this dude's like,
Sure.
his traps are fucking huge. They're like
Yeah, he's
mini
bigger.
head-
He's like bigger than Shepard, pretty much.
Oh.
But I don't. And it was cool to see like Ashley is back now, and Garrus, of course, he's the legend. He's
Yes!
got to be there. He's my
Yeah.
favorite. Him and Thane.
Yep.
But just from the second part of the demo, I kind of got the whole corridor thing back, like the sense of corridor shooter back, which I wasn't really a fan of. I thought they were gonna like have this game much more opened up, but I did like the whole story
Yeah.
thing that was going on with the whole Krogans, how they have to save that female because anyone knows their Mass Effect lore. Krogans cannot reproduce as well because there are very minimal females left in the galaxy of their race, and the Solarians, they're kind of bastards to the Krogans. So
Well, hey,
so
did
it was
you notice
it was cool that you have to save one, and Morden was there too,
Yes.
but I don't think he's playable.
I heard from what I understand.
I heard he's just gonna be on the ship.
Oh, I liked him. I really liked him.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. I liked him, but I didn't think he's that important. He does seem like somebody who would be better like as like your scientist or something on the ship.
True.
I don't know. He doesn't seem like a fighter.
is-
I never got that vibe from him.
His banter was funny though. I enjoyed having him
How he
in your
talks really fast.
Yeah, it's just like he just did a whole bunch of meth and was like.
Most likely. I mean, fuck. The guy just talks rubbish sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on the thing. I mean, it's obviously a day one. I got it pre-ordered. I really just want to finish the whole story, and I mean, I've played them all. I have played the first one on Xbox as well. I own that, and I've played the second one extensively. So, third one is a given, but I hope that it's not just the corridor, go from corridor to corridor, shooting the next wave of enemies and taking cover. I hope there's just more to it than that, and hopefully we get a cool squad again.
True.
I mean, do
Okay.
you think like the
Oh, go ahead.
demo would actually change any gamers' minds about the game, or are they trying to like get to a new audience?
I don't think so, because people already. The way I see it is if I don't think this game is going to really attract new people to Mass Effect, because if people are going to be attracted to Mass Effect, they're going to want to play the older ones. So I'm betting that BioWare is planning that this game is going to just sell itself to the fans who've stuck with the series the whole ride, which is a lot. Like I think
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 can sell sold like what, like 4 million or something.
And then when it came to the
Something
PS3, it did crazy too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it did
I
well.
mean, I wouldn't. I just think that if if you're gonna get into Mass Effect, you'd want to start with if you're only got PS2, you'd want to start with number 2, and if you're on Xbox, you'd probably want to just start at the beginning again. Because I don't really see this game bringing in this chapter bringing in the new fans, but who knows?
I mean, it's true. I mean, I figured most people who are into Mass Effects were gonna get it anyway, like immediately. They didn't care about a demo.
I mean,
And they'll watch the trailers, but they're like, they want to buy immediately because that's how I think dedicated people are to Mass Effect.
yeah, I think if you've been really following into this generation of gaming, you already know what Mass Effect is by now, and if you wanted to get into it, I'm sure you already would have by now.
True that.
Um, so any final words, or no?
No, buy it. You will love it.
Yeah.
Buy it if you like Mass Effect. Buy it.
Even if you don't, you will like it. If you've never played a Mass Effect game, those games are hot fire. And even if you like shooting shit and you like sci-fi shit and you just like a cool looking game, buy it. And plus, it's got co-op, so buy it. And the co-op actually affects the single player. So buy it. Those are all reasons alone that you should buy it. Aside from the fact that the Mass Effect franchise is a huge franchise that's just totally badass. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
Buy
for
it.
sure. I just hope some of my characters come back, but it's another discussion. We'll have to wait and see. So next topic is Twisted Metal came out this week. That was probably the biggest release of the week, besides Vita for the first edition people that got that bundle. So far, loving the game. I think it brings back so many fond memories of my PS1 days on the Twisted Metal 2, and then on Black on PS2. But we're not really going to be talking about the game. We're talking more about some controversy. David Jaffe, the game's producer, the game's creator, and of course the guy created God of War and the whole Twisted Metal series as a whole, called out a reviewer on G4 for not so much the review, but we'll just add in something. The review that the guy wrote was pretty bad because it looked as though he was treating Twisted Metal like a racing game, which, that's not even worth any more words. But I don't really know I can't even remember what Jaffe said, so I'll let Kristen take it away on that.
Yeah, I have the quote right here. He tweeted it to them. He's like, "Hey, G4 TV, I have zero problems with your review of our game. You're entitled to that opinion, and I respect and appreciate it. As y'all know, I dig your network, and I'm always honored and excited when I get to do stuff with you guys. 5 out of 5 or 1 out of 5, that won't change. So with all that out of the way, let's be clear. The review your guy wrote was fine, but his insults and attitude and response to folks on the comment section made it pretty obvious y'all got an informed dick on the payroll who admits to bringing an agenda to his review process. Am higher G4. I'd rather get a 1 of 5 from someone who knows his shit like Adam Sessler than a 3.5 out of 5 from this guy who would rather pick a fight and push his agenda to then do his job. Anyway, much love, G4. I remain a fan, but fuck that guy. What a dick."
And I think that says it all.
Right? Like, what the hell? Like, he made his point extremely clear. David Jaffe knows his shit. He knows who's reputable. But if you try to insult him in the comments down below, he's paying attention. Like, this guy is, more in touch with the community than any other, person in the industry that I know of. I don't know. I'm always sticking up for David Jaffe because I think he's amazing. What do you guys think?
I mean, I actually read the review, and I think it's fucking terrible. It was a terrible review. I don't care what the game gets because, I mean, it's up to me. Be your own reviewer because it's really up to you if you buy the game or not. But the, honestly, if you read the game, it's like the guy was treating the Twisted Metal as if it was like a racing game, and
It's true.
he was saying like, oh, the physics are bad, like this should be better. I kind of got the assumption that like, you know, he wanted like some Gran Turismo like physics in this game, but how the fuck are you gonna put like those? Why would you even want those kind of physics in a game like this? It's meant to be over the top. The cars are meant to go fucking flying in the air when they get hit with something. You know, it's. I just think the guy, he definitely does have some kind of agenda going on, and I mean, and I think it's pretty pathetic that like, you know, you have to go out and insult your your readers like that if to defend your review. I like just this is just my philosophy. If you think that like if you got to go out and defend your review, then I think you don't have much confidence in what you wrote in the first place.
It's true
So
though.
I mean, I don't care what if people hate on any of my reviews. That's fine. I'm not gonna say go fuck yourself. I don't think this game is right. Like, you know, I'm not gonna go say fuck you to people. I'm gonna say, well, thank you, thanks for reading. You know, um, but regardless, I think this guy better just watch his ass because he better make sure Jaffe doesn't find him, or else he'll blow his ass up. Like he'll blow his ass up like he did the Sweet Tooth van.
Jeez, that was amazing.
Because he did that.
Well,
Seeing David Jaffe with a gun was probably the scariest thing I've seen in a while.
is it just me, or am I getting a bad signal?
I
I'm getting some. I can hear everything.
I keep hearing Kristen's mic sounds a little funny.
Yeah, a little bit. Not that much.
It's almost
for me.
like computer love.
Ooh, baby.
But my take on this whole thing, when you review one of the biggest titles of the year, whatever you give the score, that's the review system is already broken. We already know it. And it's subjective when it shouldn't be subjective. It's opinionated when it shouldn't be opinionated. That's neither here nor there. The issue is when you start attacking the commenters to the point that it's coming clear that your review wasn't on the up and up, and then the website has to come in and ninja your comments so they're removed. That tells you that the reviewer's in trouble, the site's in trouble. The fact that they have to go back into the comment section and apologize and say, and they give out the kind of quote unquote, the reviewer learned the lesson of his ways and he apologized. I'd like him to do that. I'd like to hear it from him. I'd like them to do a video with him saying, yeah, I done fucked up.
Absolutely. I think that would be amazing, but I think he has too much like insecurities to actually do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously reviewing the game was beyond his scope. It was beyond his, abilities, because the review showed it. You can read the review and see it, and his conduct in the comment section just solidified that it should not have been given to him. It was out of his realm. Which, that's just my take on it, though, and I think Jaffe was well within his rights to say, hey, you're a dick fucker. That's my take.
He can say whatever the fuck he wants to at the end of the day.
Free world, and Jaffe does say whatever he wants.
Basically.
It's very true.
And that's why we love him.
Yay, David Jaffe.
I'll never say it like that, Mr. Jaffe.
Nope.
I won't say that, I swear. Kristen.
Oh yeah, we're homies. What's up? I give him high fives every time I see him.
I hang out with Ed Boon too, so.
Yeah. I hang out with David Jaffe.
Don't even talk about Ed Boon.
Hey, leave the Boon alone.
Mr. Boon will not be talked to.
Don't even talk about Ed Boon.
Whoopsie.
I got my reason, but don't talk about Ed Boon.
All right.
But are we gonna cut to break or?
Yeah, short episode today.
Yeah, I know, right?
You guys are making my life easier putting this show together.
Okay, let's just.
Yes.
Kristen, you want to introduce the song, I guess?
Yeah, well. Alright, so for this song for the break, I'm a huge YouTube nut, and I follow a lot of crazy people on YouTube. And there's this one group called Epic Rap Battles of History, and they come up with a lot of cool raps. This week I decided to choose a rap between the Mario Brothers versus the Wright Brothers. An epic battle to the death. So you guys, enjoy.
Oh, fuck rap battle of the world! The Wright Brothers versus the Mario Brothers!
We're the Wright brothers and there can be no other. We don't want to cause trouble. Are you looking for your lover? Cause your princess is in our castle now. Yeah, she's gone. We stayed up all night playing Donkey Kong. Before us, people only used to play balloons. You think we're scared of two idiots addicted to shrooms? Who shoulda, woulda, coulda, come to lose an extra life? So just da-da-da-da-da-da back down in your pipe.
It's me, Mario!
And Luigi, mother...
Why don't you just get back in your biplane and make out with each other?
Look at these two! Their lives must have been horrible!
Two dorky dudes!
Named Wilbur and Horrible!
You spent all your time on one machine? If you wanted to fly, you should've just eaten this leaf!
You should eat something anyway! Look at you, so skinny!
You might fly like a hawk!
Would you fight like a kitty?
We don't need to fight. We're the fathers of flight, representing North Carolina. Alright, we'll be pressing all your buttons like we're the controller. Conquer every level of your 2D scroller. You talk a lot of trash, but let me tell you something. We're gonna beat you so fast, it's like we're holding down the B
We're
button.
saving up an 8-bit fist!
Made to
We're
order!
gonna knock you off the back of your own stupid corner!
Like Bow! How you like me now?
With flames out of mouths like a name was Bowser! You get pummeled! You wish you never stumbled out your little wind tunnel!
We've been dropping my bombs since we started this song!
Sorry, right, brothers, this time you chose wrong!
Hold on! Who's next? You guys are!
All right, we're back from the break, and our next topic up is the light versions of games. Now, the son of a bitch known as Cliff Blazinski, who everybody knows I love so much, went on and recently discussed how he believes that in order, if you're gonna combat against used games, that developers should release light versions of them, meaning they should release like $30 versions of the single player and then a $30 version of the multiplayer. I'm just gonna go out and say that this is by far one of the stupidest ideas that could ever happen, and this is already adding to the whole bullshit about like this is even worse. I never have an issue with online passes. I don't think they're a big deal to me, but this is like way worse than what they would ever be, in my opinion. Because if you're gonna fucking not sell me a full game, then go fuck yourself. You know, I just
So
hope
obsessed.
that this plan never comes into fruition because, you know, Cliff Blazinski, as much as he's an asshole to me, he has a high level of like notoriety in the industry. I'm sure he knows, and he's tight with a lot of industry people who would probably back him up on this. But for gamers' sake and developers' sake, I hope that something like this would never, ever happen. Because this would just be complete fucking bullshit and piss off gamers even more. What do you guys think?
Chris,
Well, I'll go first then. It depends on the game, like for me, because I know there's so many people that would be like thrilled if this happened with Call of Duty. Because who the fuck plays a single player in Call of Duty? Nobody who buys Call of Duty. So they would all just buy the multiplayer version, and then they're like, wow, we spent most of our time making this single player that nobody plays. And then Call of Duty would lose lots of money, and then hopefully go out of business, and there'd be no more Call of Duties. That's the plan, to get them out of business. But realistically, I don't think this would actually happen. I think companies work so hard putting things together that they wouldn't want to have to split it like that, you know? Because the gameplay is supposed to be something that you have together. You have your single player mode, and then when you're done with your single player mode, they would hope that you would hop on a multiplayer mode. Because most people, depending on what system, buy it for a certain aspect of the game. Like me personally, I love stories of games. I usually buy games for the story mode. That's why I don't play Call of Duty, because nobody plays the story mode. But for people who are multiplayer only, I think this idea could actually take off. But they would never actually do it. I doubt it wholeheartedly. I think he was suggesting this idea to like put businesses that sell used games out of business, because then nobody would have to buy a pre-owned game anymore for like $5 cheaper if they could just get that only part they want for just half price. It's the ultimate plan. I think that's what the
If
goal
they
is.
want to do something like this, I think they should just put it on the PSN or Xbox Live or Steam.
I mean, it makes more sense. Digital
Just-
download could save them a
I
lot
would
of money.
I would make it. I would just say go friggin' digital. You know,
Here's my
that would be the better alternative, and make it cheaper too. Like charge like $20. That'll be much better.
here's the
Just
way I
don't
look at it. And sorry,
Sell it in retail halfway. You know.
well, think about it this way.
Go ahead.
Say if you bought, I'm going to use an example off of my iPhone. 2 games I bought on my iPhone only because I played the lite versions. And the model that I think this would be probably, tell me what you guys feel about this. Say you bought games like Angry Birds or Cut the Rope. They give you so much of the experience, but it's only like 1/10 of the experience. But it is, covers all the different types of features. Now, imagine if you bought a game, say PSN, Xbox Live, or even a retail copy at a drastically reduced price. It still had some of the single player, say maybe the first level or 2, and had just the bare bones of the multiplayer. And if you like it, you would go and purchase through either PSN or Xbox Live, or through their own private server, however it would work, and you get to download more of the content for a drastically reduced price. Because if that's all you're doing, whether you buy it online or you buy it on the store, you're only buying a bare bones version. If they could get it where you can still eventually buy the whole game, but most of it's through online or entirely online, then the full price of it should be dropped down. Because if you say you bought it all digitally, then there's no disc, there's no booklet, there's no case, there's no retailer, there's no shipping manufacturers, there's no middlemen. So it allows a developer to make more profit and still be able to help the consumer. And it takes, think about it this way. How many times do consumers do the GameFly route? Because it's cheaper. It's drastically cheaper. It saves you a lot of money. But the developers don't even see a smidgen of that profit. So they lose out. I mean, say GameStop or say GameFly buys 100,000 copies, and that actually would have equated to 2 million sales. Well, I understand that for the consumer point and GameFly's business model, but the developer's the one who's hurting. But imagine if you sold it, say, to the retailer at that small amount, but you were able to draw down the price and make it so that way. So say I bought like Darksiders, I got a little bit of the experience, or Call of Duty, I got a little bit of the experience, and I was already on the fence. So say my investment's only $10, I get to experience the game, and if I really like it, I just go online and buy the rest for say another 30 or 40 bucks. So I'm still saving money, but I'm only really renting it or buying a portion of the game that is a lot bigger, a lot less of a risk financially for the consumer, with the option of paying a little bit more and getting the full experience. I think that would be a better business model, but just splitting it 50-50, a single player and multiplayer, you're going to break the industry that way. You're going to break the industry because what's the biggest portion of gaming? The online portion. So that what would give a developer any incentive to take any risks? They wouldn't. They would just all do multiplayer, and that would be the only type of game you'd ever get anymore. because one, it's a safe bet. Two, you know it's going to get money because multiplayer always brings money, and the whole single player part of the game would just go the way of the dodo. And consumers who don't just like online games, that actually like good story, good content, would kind of get shafted, saying, "Hey, here's $30 for a 5 to 10 hour game." That's pretty crappy. That's a pretty crappy deal. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think if you're going to split it 30-30, that's a bad decision and won't work. But if Cliffy B, like you said, he knows a lot of people, so he could really kind of push that broken ass business model. But I mean, that's my take, and I think with some adjustments to the logic, it could be good for the consumer and good for the developers. But the 30-30 split is just going to hurt the industry overall. It would be a bad step.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I just hope that it never comes to fruition, because if it's an interesting idea, but just the way Cliff is talking about it is very bad. I mean, if you want to do something like this, just make sure you do it right and don't piss off gamers, because gamers are getting fucked over a lot these days.
Well, even if you remember Activision, was it last year? Bobby Kotick, and even the year before, he had made it clear that one of his goals is to eventually get it. If he ever got his way, a consumer would pay X amount of dollars, say $20-$30 for a disc that you can't play at home, but you just have the disc. Then if you want to play it, you gotta pay for the single player,
whatever content you want.
Yeah, and he wants to chop it up. Oh, you want cutscenes? Oh, you're gonna pay for that. You want more guns? Oh, you're gonna pay for that. Oh, you want more maps? You're gonna pay for that. Oh, wait a minute, we didn't even talk about playing online.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a monthly fee. It's like,
Yeah, basically his
asshole.
philosophy is, if you can milk people, then just fucking do it.
Yeah, and
he's an asshole.
Yeah, he wants to get right in the pockets, and I could see Activision and Cliffy, their kind of philosophies merging, and I don't like that the business models they're even remotely suggesting, because they're both really, one will break the industry, the other one just milks the consumer for every penny they can get. Instead of saying, "Hey, I got this in a $60 purchase before, now it's $200 for me to get the same content that was in my $60 disc."
So I can see that happening. I mean, look at DLC now. Like, before, games used to come with all the content, and now they're like, "Oh, by the way, you want some cool new characters?
Music.
$5.
Music.
$5.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. I can see this happening to us gamers, just because they seem kind of greedy and like money hungry right now. I don't know why exactly.
Well, I think the business model of DLC is a good business model if it comes from the standpoint of it's community driven. If it comes from, we can't wait 2 years, the community saying, "I don't want to wait 2 years for the next 2 to 3 years," or some developers even longer, for the next game, give me something. Give me all the shit that you cut from the game. Give me that. Give me every little piece. But it has to be driven from the community. And the problem with DLC, the way it works is, it has to be greenlit when the game's being submitted for approval. So that's pretty much saying, right out the door, we know we're not going to sell you the full, in your $65, we're not selling you the full game, because we're having them work on this shit the moment they start working on the game.
Of course.
So how it's already crooked. It's like saying, okay, take some shit out of the full game, put it in the DLC, sell them the what should be a $65 should be a $40 game for $60, and then turn around and sell them that extra $20 you cut out for another $20. That's crooked, and that's the wrong way of approaching DLC. And all these business models, it's because you have guys in suits sitting in the background saying, "Yeah, that's a good idea, and since I write the check, that's what's going to happen." What do we see happen with that? Only one real franchise really succeeds with the DLC, and that's just because it's a household name brand. But even those, I mean, so was Rock Band, so was Guitar Hero. What happened to those franchises?
They died.
No, Rock Band's not dead. No, but you see, Guitar Hero is dead for sure, but
Well, yeah, they bastardized it.
EA did the smart thing and just released like one game every few or so years. But Rock Band 3 pretty much looks like it's gonna be the last one.
Yeah.
And then they just drove out DLC for it like every week, like so many fucking songs you can get for that game now.
But
So that was the smart thing.
it was smart, but I mean, in that whole type of business model,
Mhm.
the kind of mindset of it being a household name has kind of faded. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Those it's not even really relevant anymore. Like
Exactly.
music games as a whole are just kind of
True.
on the decline now.
and I could see that business model that Activision is doing with Call of Duty, the way it is going to go the way of the Dodo too, because you can't keep producing the same content every year unless it keeps like the Super Bowl effect and that everyone's looking forward to because they think it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but thing is, like, the way people are nowadays, I mean, I don't know, man. Some of the people I know that play Call of Duty, that's the only game they play.
They don't
It's
even.
all they talk about. I see them
True.
at work. It's all they talk about. They're like, they talk about all the maps and shit. They don't talk about anything else besides Call of Duty. They don't play like Halo. They don't play like Kingdoms of Amalur. They don't play anything else but Halo. So it's the people like that that are gonna go out every year and just buy the same game over and over again because they don't care. They're like, they don't really know the whole story behind like what goes on in the industry, or like how really shady Activision really is.
Do you think they even care?
No. That's why they don't care. And they're just gonna keep buying the game because they're just having fun shooting shit, which I can't really bash because I mean, if you're having fun, you're having fun. But you know, to us real true gamers, you're really shooting us in the foot.
Yeah, it is separating the
Because
industry.
we're not getting the shit we want, but yet you're just getting the same shit that you're satisfied with, and they outnumber us a lot by way more.
It's
you
like
know?
an 80 to 80-20.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
basically. Which is, unfortunate. So, yeah, I guess that's all we got on that. We really went in on that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
But let's just get to the next topic, which I don't feel too good about at all. It's just lots of bad things today I'm talking about, which I hate, but whatever, that's the way she goes. I don't know why people were considering this breaking news, because honestly, like, I don't know how people couldn't have seen this coming from like 20 miles away. Another Assassin's Creed game is coming out this October. And it's Assassin's Creed number 3, the actual true sequel, not the just add-on like Brotherhood and Revelations.
2.5.
Pretty much.
2.5 and 2.6. That's what Brotherhood and Revelations were. But so it's coming out October 20th, and like, my question to you guys is, do you even give a shit anymore about this? Because Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 were really good games, and I played Brotherhood. I thought it was pretty good. Wasn't nothing to write home about, and now I have a Revelations literally sitting on my shelf. I'm looking at it right now, and I've only played fucking 20 minutes of it, and I haven't touched it since the first week I bought it.
That's terrible.
I'm just kind of getting the whole Call of Duty effect with Ubisoft and this franchise now, because it is a good series, I can't lie, but when you keep fucking pumping this shit out every year, you're gonna tire yourself out, like we were just saying Guitar Hero did. So I don't know, like, do you like seeing? You guys like seeing these sequels every year?
No.
Or like, are you with me and say, give it like fucking 3 years and let's see a new IP from this studio?
I don't even. For me, it doesn't even have to be a new IP. I do like I do like when franchises are kept alive. I just think, perfect example. I'll take in point. Resident Evil. From Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 5, even though Resident Evil 5 wasn't as high caliber as
It was a different kind of game.
Yeah, it was a different type of game.
It
Very
wasn't the
different.
same as the other ones, which they
was-
tried something new.
Yeah.
I liked it, but the majority of people didn't like it. Which better to try than not try.
But look at all the buzz that was behind it. I mean,
Yeah, well, a lot of it was negative, but
well, no, but I mean, when they first showed the first trailer of
yeah, the
Resident
races thing, right?
not even just that. Just that at first there was excitement just because it was another Resident Evil, but then people analyzed the trailer and then they just went kind of retarded. They went on their own little shit. But aside from that, you look at even Resident Evil 6, the trailer that was shown. When you let games sit for a while, even if it's in the same franchise, you let it stew. You figure out how to make it better. You do the things that are right to evolve that franchise. It's good. It is good to sit on a game for a little bit and take your time, work on other stuff, and keep that on the back burner. And let the industry grow and development styles evolve. So that way, when you produce your next game, it's more current, more modern. You're bringing in the existing community for that franchise is going to be so excited because you're bringing a sequel to it. But on top of that, you're bringing in a new community because they never heard of it. If you keep bringing a title every single year, your existing community gets fatigue on the title, and new guys are just gonna. What are they gonna hear? They're gonna hear from the guys who've been playing the franchise. You'll get one next year, and the next year, and the next year, and it just loses any significance. And same thing with Call of Duty. Same thing with Guitar Hero. I mean, any franchise that's on a yearly basis is bad for not only its franchise but for the industry. It hurts the perception of, oh, you're just going to get the same thing next year, so I can just play this one game all year long and I'm good. And in all honesty, I like the first Assassin's Creed, and it had its issues, and I had no real desire to go back to the franchise. And I know a lot of people that would disagree with me. There's a lot of people that would disagree with me. But the fact that they've been doing it every single year, now even other journalists are starting to make cracks at the fact that
2009.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing other big name journalists take cracks at, oh, you're gonna get a Call of Duty and another Assassin's Creed. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. When the franchise first came out, it was such a big deal. It was such a big deal. It was creative, new. It was innovative.
Yeah, it was a really interesting new
absolutely.
IP.
And now it's
Even when number 2 came out, that was a big deal, but that was like 2 years later.
Yeah.
So that was a good step.
yeah,
Well,
2
look at the
years.
step.
Go ahead.
Well, look at the step that they took, though. They went from like really repetitive gameplay to something that was really different.
Yeah, much more open.
Different character, different design, different idea, but same concept, staying in like the Assassin's Creed world, which is completely different from Revelations and Brotherhood and whatnot, which is like, hey, we're still Ezio, hey, we're still doing shit, hey, we're still Da Vinci
Ezio.
stuff.
Guy's in
Yeah,
friggin'
right?
Soul Calibur, for God's sakes. He's everywhere.
He's so famous.
Go-kart racing next. I called it now.
And he's in fucking. You can get it. Oh no, you can't.
Yes.
And he's gonna. Can't you get like his outfit in Metal Gear Rising or
Yep.
some shit?
Yep.
Yeah, he's freaking everywhere, dude. Spread that Ezio love.
That's
God.
so wrong.
I don't know. That's like. But I don't know. I just think that Ubisoft should just really take a break for a while and just let Far Cry 3 get some shine, because that looks dope, and let Rainbow Six, that's coming out this year as well, and Ghost Recon, but just now something just popped in my mind. Why is it that they're so focused on Assassin's Creed, where like I have Ghost Recon, the last Ghost Recon came out in like what 2008. The last Rainbow Six came out in 2008 as well, and so did the last Far Cry.
Wow,
Well,
dude.
you do know that the first Assassin's Creed sold crazy numbers. Like, it's one of
Oh
the
yeah, that's one of the highest selling IPs this generation. The
Right.
first one sold like 6 million or something.
was that between both platforms or was that just on one
Yeah,
platform?
both platforms.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy numbers. Uh, you know, it's not Halo numbers or Gears or Call of Duty, but it's still crazy freaking numbers.
Oh, that's those are really good fucking numbers.
Yeah, those are insane.
For a
numbers.
new IP as 2 at the time, like that was really impressive.
And I think that was the driving factor between their business models. Like, all right, that franchise we know can make a lot of money, so let's just keep going. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, money drives games, and that's what they want. And how do they pay all their people? So of course they're gonna keep going with what makes them the most money.
I don't even.
Yes. I'm just I just wish Ubisoft would stop spending money on this series and maybe create something new, because they're a good studio. I've never really had any issues with Ubisoft as a business, as a company, really in the past. I mean, they put out really high quality shit. I'm looking forward to quite a few of their games this year. And last year, I thought Rayman Origins was one of the best games of the year. That game was just so beautiful and just such a classic homage to the 2D platformer that we don't see much anymore. So, fuck Mario, Rayman all the way. But if you're gonna really make a new Assassin's Creed this year, Ubisoft, please, for the love of God, do not bring Ezio back. I do not want to see that character anymore in anything.
What about
Because
you want Altair?
No,
I want a new guy.
nothing. And I'm not buying it day one. I'll let it sit. But because fuck me, man. Like, I've been playing Soul Calibur 5 online, and everybody fucking uses Ezio online. So you think this... Every time I fight him, I'm just like, fuck! I don't want to see this asshole anymore. It's like I'm just being it's like I'm being fucking trolled by the matchmaking system in that game. So
That's awesome.
All right,
yeah,
guys,
like
you know
every
what you
time,
should say,
Ezio Auditore da Firenze, and then I'm like, fuck! Like, I don't want to see
let's
this
play
asshole
Soul Calibur,
anymore.
man. I'll troll you.
Oh, see?
Yes.
Probably
But
beat
you can't customize Ezio though at all in Soul Calibur. He's like, no,
Yeah,
do not
then
touch
why
him.
would you
He is
wanna-
perfect.
Why would you want to customize him anyway? He's a dork.
His style. You can like change the colors of his outfit or something. Like, I would do something with it. I'd be like a female Assassin's Creed character. Like, I would like kick ass. Like, that's something
Just
I
make
would
your
do.
own.
Yeah, but you can't have the same style with the hidden blades and all the cool
Yes, you
shit.
can.
How?
Can't you can use the character's styles for the created
You
character.
cannot use Ezio's. I've created a fuck ton of
You
characters.
can't?
No, you can't.
Oh, that's pathetic.
Mhm.
Damn.
That's
You can use all the
pathetic.
other characters' styles, but you can't.
I think like character creation's really cool in games like period, but I don't spend too much time on them, so I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah,
That
I do.
sucks.
It's like my favorite aspect of Soul Calibur because I'll play it at work, and I made everybody that I play with at work. So when they come play a game, it's like you gotta play as yourself, and they'll pick it up and they're like, "What the hell, Kristen? You made me!" And I was like, "I made you!" And they're all like,
Yeah.
"Fucking asshole!"
I guess
People make 'em look
Ubisoft paid
retarded.
Namco. It's like, we want Ezio to be only Ezio. We do not want his style replicated
Oh,
anywhere.
there's-
If you're gonna use his style, you're gonna use Ezio
I guess because
just to
I
troll,
really
just to
wanted
troll me.
Just for out, they have a memo on their whiteboard. Troll payback Iron Man.
For all costs, because he hates Ezio. He's sick of seeing him. Just
that.
troll him.
Yes. Troll him.
Maybe
troll the
next time
fuck
you'll
out
get Desmond.
Oh my god, play as
On
Desmond.
that knob.
He'd be like the worst fighter ever. I punched you in the face.
Maybe his powers of genetics will come into play.
Maybe if I went in the friggin' Animus, I'd come out an assassin as well. Maybe I got some memories or something that I don't know about.
And
Oh,
that's-
Maybe I was
maybe
an asshole
I
back in
have
the
a
day.
question. Here's a question from a psychotherapist. I think that's what they're called, or therapist. Do you see Ezio in your dreams? Does he haunt you there?
No, I don't dream bad things. Woo.
Damn. Ubisoft is gonna listen to this. Oh, these motherfuckers are done.
No, I don't hate you. I love Ubisoft. They've made some of my favorite games. I just want them to take a fucking break with this series because it's
Tell
it's
Jade
tired.
Raymond that it's time to move on. Move to something new.
Jade Raymond makes games.
Does she still make games for them?
I don't know.
No, you didn't get the joke.
It went over my head.
Because she didn't really. Honestly, if you, I heard. I don't know.
Blasphemy! Don't blaspheme, because she is like Jade Raymond.
I don't know if it's
You
entirely.
listen to this,
true.
you're a beautiful
She
woman.
didn't really have as big a role on Assassin's Creed as people made it out to be.
Silence, blasphemer!
Apparently, that Patrice Desaltes guy,
Yeah.
I think that's his name. He was like the real big
And
head
he left,
honcho,
yeah,
who I met at E3, who was really cool.
and he left. He left the team.
Yeah, but he dipped after number 2, I think.
Yeah,
or something.
I think he saw what was coming. And was like, I'm out. I'm not having my
Fuck
name.
me, I should go to their office because they're right here in Toronto, and that's where Jade Raymond is. She's there. She's in the Toronto office.
Please
I should go find her.
go there and like just lick her hand for me.
No.
Lick her hand?
I
You know
know.
how creeped out I'd be if someone licked my hand?
Payback doing it, not
She's
me.
probably making like Splinter Cell or something, or Beyond Good and Evil. I'm pretty sure that's what they're making.
We've been hearing about them make Beyond Good and Evil for a quick minute.
I'm pretty sure it's either that or Splinter Cell.
I mean,
they got
how old is
going on.
that trailer for Beyond Good and Evil?
Evil.
A long time. But
I think most games in them, shit, they've had 3 Uncharted's pretty much in the time that trailer's been out. But I better shut up now before you start trolling me.
what's Uncharted?
I'm glad you didn't get where I was going, so we'll move on.
What?
Sorry, I was
Enough.
thinking about the IP Uncharted.
That's what I was. That wasn't the part where I was going, but I'm glad.
Good.
I didn't.
Good. My dirty mind did not create something worse.
Oh God.
Jesus.
Close
But
this out, payback. Close this out.
enough trolling, enough goddamn assassins, enough Cliff Blazinski. We're done with this episode. This has been Gamers411 team, T Hill, Kristen Perez, and Payback Iron Man, and we are officially signing off. Peace.
Ah.
Peace.